तो दोस्तों इस प्रैक्टिस सेट में हम विलियम शेक्सपियर से रिलेटेड कुछ महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्नों पर बात करेंगे। तो पहला इस प्रश्न लेते हैं, हॉलिस्ट क्रॉनिकल was used by which Elizabethan dramatist? Then option first will be the correct, then related to William Shakespeare. And another question, William Shakespeare took hint from Spanish tragedy in his विलियम शेक्सपियर ने स्पेनिश ट्रेजेडी को अपने किस प्ले में ऐड किया, किस प्ले में को लिखा स्पेनिश ट्रेजेडी को लेके? तो मैकबेथ, ओथेलो, Hamlet, King Lear. Then option C will be the Hamlet. And the next question, William Shakespeare born in 1564. And the next question, Venus and Adonis. Next question related to Venus and Adonis and the rape of Lucrece. Then Venus and Adonis and rape of Lucrece. Venus and Adonis written in 1593 and rape of Lucrece is written in 1594. And it's a long poems, and also another question comes in, that is a long narrative poems, and it's dedicated, these two poems dedicated to Earl of Southampton. It's dedicated to Earl of Southampton. Next question, Shakespeare died in 1660. And the next is the life of Shakespeare. It's an important question. Life of Shakespeare, it's really important. Life of Shakespeare is written by Sidney Lee. And the next question, out of 37 play, space play were published in quarto forms. Then the option नंबर डी विल बी द राइट, यानी 16 प्ले रिटेन इन क्वार्टर फॉर्म. क्वार्टर फॉर्म क्या होता है? क्वार्टर फॉर्म वो फॉर्म होता है जिससे किसी बड़े दस्तावेज़ को हम एक के बाद एक फोल्ड करके रखते हैं. जैसे किसी A4 साइज़ को आज पेज ले लिए, उसको कई फोल्ड में करके आपने एक दफ्ती नुमा उसको बना लिया. इस तरह से किसी डॉक्यूमेंट्स को रखा जाता है, जिससे क्वार्टर फॉर्म कहते हैं. एंड next question is related with Shakespeare. Then Shakespeare's first folio published in 1623 में, and it is published by three writers के द्वारा पब्लिश किया गया था. अगर आप नाम जानना चाहते हैं तो पहला नाम उसमें आता है आपके एडवर्ड ब्लाउंट का. एडवर्ड BLOUNT, एडवर्ड ब्लाउंट. सेकेंड विलियम, and third number is Isaac Jogarth. These three writers who published the first folio. And the next question, who spoke the lunatic, the lover and the poet are of imagination all compact. Then it is the Theseus. Theseus character you may find in A Midsummer Night's Dream. And the next question, Shakespeare wrote Merry Wives at the behest of. Windsor. behest of में आदेश पे शेक्सपियर साहब ने मेरी वाइफ ऑफ विंस्टर किसके आदेश पे लिखा था? तो वो क्वीन एलिजाबेथ के आदेश पे लिखा था. कितने में लिखा था? तो 1602 में लिखा था. 1602 में लिखा था. यह क्या है? इट्स इज अ कॉमेडी. मेरी वाइफ से क्या एक कॉमेडी है. इट्स अ कॉमेडी. एंड द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, Benedict and Beatrice appears in. Then Much Ado About Nothing. And the next question, The famous song Take Oh Take Those Lips Away. Famous song Take Oh Takes Those Lips Away is related to play measure for measures. Option number D will be correct. Falstaff is a character in Shakespeare's. Next question, Falstaff. Falstaff is a character related to which play then Henry VIII. And the next question, which Shakespeare tragedy is tragedy of मिसएंथ्रोपी. मिसएंथ्रोपी मीन्स मानव द्वेष. शेक्सपियर की कौन सी जो ट्रेजडी है दुखांत है जो मानव द्वेष से रिलेटेड है? तो टाइमन ऑफ एथेंस. टाइमन ऑफ एथेंस. ऑप्शन डी इज राइट ऑप्शन. टाइमन ऑफ एथेंस अगर बात करते हैं तो एक कोलिब्रेशन में लिखा गया था. किसके साथ में? तो ये लिखा गया था थॉमस मिडिल्टन के साथ. थॉमस मिडिल्टन. थॉमस मिडिल्टन साहब के साथ में लिखा गया था 1605 से 6 में लिखा गया था थॉमस मिडिल्टन साहब के साथ में. एंड द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, इमोजिन. इमोजिन इज अ कैरेक्टर. इमोजिन इज अ कैरेक्टर इन कैम्बरलाइन. कैम्बरलाइंस में इमोजिन कैरेक्टर है. एंड द लास्ट प्ले ऑफ शेक्सपियर आर ट्रेजिक कॉमेडी एंड आल्सो नो एज द रोमांस. as you know, the next question, which play by Shakespeare is considered the autobiographical? Then autobiographical is then the Tempest. And the who said it is the stars of us govern us conditions. Who said? Then King Lear said in King Lear's. And the next question, Sydney's Arcadia is drawn by Shakespeare. Sydney's Arcadia, it's an important question. It's important. Sydney's Arcadia is drawn by Shakespeare in King Lear. In King Lear's. And the next question, King Lear's. Shakespeare wrote his poem Venus and Adonis in pattern of 6-line stanza, 7-line stanza, 8-line stanza, 10-line stanza. Then option first will be the right 6-line stanza. 6-line stanza called sestet, and 7-line stanza called Rimoroil, and the 8-line stanza called octave. 8-line stanza called octave. And the next question, the name of Shakespeare's birthplace. Name of Shakespeare's birthplace is Stratford on Avon. Stratford on Avon. Stratford is a district name. And Avon is a name of a river. Avon is a name of river. And who affirmed the Shakespeare's New Small Latin and Less Greek? Who affirmed the Shakespeare's New Small Latin and less Greek? Then option first, Ben Jonson. In 1599, a collection of words with Shakespeare's name on the title page appeared. Identify the title. Then the option first will be the correct. Then Passionate Pilgrims. And the next question, in 1609, a collection of Shakespeare's sonnets were printed. 1609, a collection of Shakespeare's sonnets was printed by Thomas Thorpe. Option first will be the correct. And the next question, Shakespeare's collection of sonnets were dedicated to a certain Mr. W.H. as being the on live begetter of the sonnets, the most probable explanation about the speculation of the identity. Who was he? Then that was the William Herbert, Earl of Pembroke. Shakespeare written 154 sonnets and 126 dedicated to Mr. W.H. And the next question, what a piece of work is a man? What a piece of work is a man? Who said this? This is said by the Hamlet. Said by Hamlet. And the next question, Aegeus. Aegeus is a famous character in Shakespeare's. Aegeus is a famous character in Shakespeare's of Midsummer Night Dreams. And the next question, and my poor fool is hanged. No, no, no life. Why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life, and thou no breath at all? Who said this? It's said by the King Lear. Who said this? This is said by the King Lear in King Lear's. And the next question, he was the man who of all modern and perhaps ancient poets had the largest and most comprehensive soul. Who said this in praise of Shakespeare? It says by the John Dryden. John Dryden. And the next question. Peace, peace, dost thou not see my baby at my breast? That sucks the nurse asleep. Who is the speaker of this dialogue? This is spoken by Cleopatra in Antonio Cleopatra. Cleopatra and Act 5. Act 5 and Act 5 scene 2. Act 5 in scene 2. And the next question, Shakespeare borrowed the plot of his Comedy of Errors from Machiavelli's The Plautus. Manage Me by Plautus. And the question number next, Shakespeare borrowed the formula of romantic comedy from Robert Greene. Romantic comedy formula from Robert Greene. Robert Greene, a university wit writer. And the next question, the 12th Night is also a title. 12th Night also has a title, What You Will. Next question, Shakespeare's All's Well That Ends Well is called a problem comedy. And the next question, which of the following Shakespeare's play is a dramatization of Green's Pendesto? Then the option C, yani the Winter's Tale. Winter's Tale is the correct option. And the next question, Shakespeare's The Two Noble Kingsmen, a tragic comedy, is a reasonably faithfully dramatization of then Chaucer's Knight's Tale. And the next question, who said of Shakespeare, I love the man and do honor to his memory on this idolatry as much as any. He was indeed honest and of an open and free nature. It's said by Ben Jonson. Next question, good friend for Jesus' sake forbears to dig the dust enclosed here. Blessed be the man that spares these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones. It's very important. It's very important line. Because this line is written on the tomb of Shakespeare. Shakespeare's tomb. Shakespeare की कब्र पे इस लाइन को लिखा गया है. It's really important. And next question, Shakespeare's His Mind and Art, published in 1875, was written by Dryden. His Mind and Art in 1875, written by Dryden. Next question, who divided Shakespeare's career into such periods in depth and on heights? By Dryden. It's also the answer will be the Dryden, option number first. And the next question, Shakespeare's dramatic artist, brought out in 1885, was written by Shakespeare as a dramatic artist, brought out in 1885, was written by R.G. Milton. Is written by R.G. Milton. Option number first is right. And the next question, Shakespeare's tragedy, brought out in 1904, was written by Shakespearean tragedy 1904. It's रियली इम्पोर्टेंट। AC ब्रेडली, ऑप्शन नंबर फर्स्ट AC ब्रेडली, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, रॉबर्ट ब्रिजेस रोट विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग बुक्स, रॉबर्ट ब्रिजेस रोट विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग बुक, द influence of the audience on Shakespeare's dramas, the influence of the audience on the Shakespeare's drama, option number first is right. And the next question, Miss Edith Sitwell, Miss Edith Sitwell wrote which of the following books, Miss Edith Sitwell, a notebook on William Shakespeare, it's right answer, a notebook on William Shakespeare, it's a right answer. And the next question, The Crown of Life, The Crown of Life, brought out in 1947, is a famous book on Shakespeare. Who wrote it? Then Wilson Knight, written by Wilson Knight. And the next question, the conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is streaked with the pale cast of thought. Then these are lines taken from the soliloquy spoken by Macbeth in Macbeth. Next question, what is the name of Ophelia's brother in Hamlet? Then Laertes. Was the brother of Ophelia in Hamlet. And the next question, thou in the trade of war I have slain men, it do I hold it very stuffs the conscience to do no country's murder. Who is the speaker of these lines? Then Igo is the speaker of these lines. And the next question, Lintio is a famous character, appears in Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream. And next question, who wrote the play on the shores of Promus and Cassandra? Promus and Cassandra is a poem. It's a poetry, and its source on the Macbeth, William Shakespeare's Macbeth. अगर हम प्रोमस एंड कैसेंड्रा की बात करते हैं तो प्रोमस एंड कैसेंड्रा जॉर्ज व्हिटस्टोन के द्वारा लिखा गया है। जॉर्ज व्हिटस्टोन के द्वारा लिखा गया है। व्हिटस्टोन नाम याद रखिएगा, व्हिटस्टोन के द्वारा लिखा गया है। एंड नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, it's really very important. Doubt that the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth moves, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. This line is, who is the speaker of this line? Then the Hamlet. In Hamlet spoke to Ophelia. And next question, when we are born we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools, this is a good block. Who speaks this famous line? It's very important. King Lear, spoken by King Lear in King Lear. And the next question, Regan is a famous character, appears in King Lear's. Next question, Globe Theatre was built in Globe Theatre built in 1599. And next question, Swan Theatre was built in 1594. And the next question, oh what a noble mind is here on earth throne, the courtiers, soldiers, eyes, tongue, sword, the expectancy and the rose of the fair state. Who speaks these words in Hamlet? Then this is spoken by the Ophelia. This is spoken by the Ophelia in Hamlet. And the next question, how many deaths occurs in Shakespeare's Hamlet? Very important question. Total 8 deaths. And next question, between 1519 and 1593, the theater were closed. Owing to disturbance caused by the actors. And होप ये प्रश्न आपके एग्ज़ाम के लिए महत्वपूर्ण होंगे. थैंक यू फॉर लिसनिंग एंड कीप लर्निंग. थैंक यू.